Stampers, it's Eleanor McGarry, independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and today I'm going to be showing you some cards using the new Cottage Rose stamp set from the catalog. This is the new catalog for 2022-2023. This is the stamp set that we're going to use. These are all of the images that come in the set, and if you buy the bundle, you also get the dies that come along with it, the Cottage Rose stamp set and the Cottage Flower dies. As well, we are going to be using some of the designer series paper that comes along with the suite called Abigail Rose. I'm very excited to show you a lot of stamp sets that are in the new catalog, and this is going to be the first of many videos featuring a lot of the stamp sets that have just come out. So in this tutorial, I will be also showing you ideas on how to use the designer series paper called Abigail Rose. It's warm neutrals and pops of pink. When you turn it around, you'll see. So there are 6 designs, double-sided. Sorry, 6 sheets, double-sided, with for a total of 6 designs. There you go, really lovely neutral colors that you could use. I love this paper here. And then if you turn it around, you have some darker shades of, this is soft suede and early espresso. Soft suede and early espresso. And of course you have the very vanilla, and this is the classic white. And the other nice thing that I like about this paper is one of the sheets, this one here, works well with the die that comes in the Cottage Flowers die set, because you can see that it will cut out the images perfectly. I don't know if you can see that. Let me bring that a bit closer. If you position it, it'll cut out all these images perfectly, and you can now color them and add them to a card. So basically you run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and you get all these pieces which you can use to make different designs on your card. And in fact, in the card that I'm going to be showing you today, we will actually be using that. The card that we're going to be making is this one. I will show you how I did this, and you can see the little piece, some elements of the cutout, the dies right there. We did the leaves. And at the end of the video, stay tuned, because I will show you some other designs that I made using the Cottage Rose stamp set. Our base card, of course, will be basic black. And then the first layer is the designer series paper, measuring 4 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then we have the same width of paper, but instead of 3 1/2, this is only 1 1/2 inch. This will be the part that we color in, and that we are going to glue on top of that. But of course, the colors that we're going to use are the Sweet Sorbet Stampin' Blends, which is one of the new colors, the in colors for 2022-2023, and also the Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends. So let's color this first, and then we'll put the card together. So now we've colored our designer series paper with our Stampin' Blends, and as you can, if you remember from the card, I've split that into 3 different areas, and it doesn't have to be exact. It's just simple math, you know. It doesn't have to be rocket science. This is 4 3/4 wide, so I divide that by 3, and it's just over 1.5 inches per section. So all I did was, using the grid paper, this, of course, these are in inches. So if you line it up to the end, this is 1 inch. See if you can see that. This is 1 inch, and right here is 1.5. I'll mark it with a pencil, but so this is 1.5 right here, and we want it to be just a little bit over that, over the 1.5 inch, so right around here, and mark it down here as well. And then all I did was I cut strips of black cardstock, very thin. And again, it doesn't have to be exact, the thickness, because this is a handmade card, so there's going to be some irregularities. That's all part of the beauty of card making. So just put a little bit of glue in the back, doesn't have to be a lot. And I'm going to go ahead and glue that onto there, following my marks where I had it. So like that. Again, it's not rocket science. We don't have to be exact, and we don't care that it goes past the edges, of course, because we're going to cut that after. So also on the other side, we're going to do the same thing. We want to glue it so it's right here where our mark is. So I have another strip here, and I'm going to go ahead and add just a touch of glue on there, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that down right where our mark is. So there we have our colored in designer series paper, cut into, or not cut, separated into 3 sections. And then you're just going to turn that over and snip off the excess. So it's very fast and very easy. And that's how you get that look. Now the next thing we're going to do is glue this onto our card. Go ahead and apply your glue in the back. Oops, had a little bit of a glue accident there where I squeezed too much, but that's okay. I'm going to just spread it around with my finger there and go ahead and glue that down about a little lower than half down the width of that white layer. And then I'm going to add a piece of black on here, another strip, and then some ribbon up top. I've gone ahead and added a strip of black on the bottom, the same way we did the ones that separate the pattern paper into 3. And then again, you're just going to turn that around and snip off the excess. And then for the top, that's just ribbon. I use the black and white gingham ribbon that's still available in the catalog. Cut a piece that's slightly bigger than your paper. And then I just use ordinary Scotch tape to glue that or adhere it to the back. So you're just putting it on the top there and then turning it over and using tape to hold it steady and secure in the back. And you're going to do the same to the other side. Just go ahead and tape it to the back. And of course, once that's done, you are going to go ahead and glue it to your card like so. And the last step is we're going to do the greeting up top. The last step, of course, is our greeting, and this is it here. I've gone ahead and embossed on black using white embossing powder. This is the greeting from the stamp set. Happy birthday. And do you remember at the beginning of the video where I showed you how we cut out using this die and the pattern paper. We cut out all these different shapes. This actually comes from the paper, so that belongs there. So you get flowers and leaves. I took some of the leaves from that, and I just, on the back of the greeting, this greeting, I glued some of the leaves like this. I already done it. And I just glued it to the back like that. There's some tape there now. And this I'm going to glue right there, but I'm going to pop it up to add some dimension to our card. So let's grab our mini dimensionals, the perfect size, so it does not show on the front of the greeting because it's that tiny. And just go ahead and peel off the backs of your dimensionals and go ahead and adhere that to your card like so. And that is your finished card. And because it's a black card base and you can't write on black, you obviously have to do a little liner on the inside, which is just printer paper that I've stamped on either side so it's balanced. So just the leaves colored in Granny Apple Green Stampin' Blends. And I have some other cards I'm going to show you as well that I made. I got a couple more that I made, 3 more actually, using this stamp set. Okay, I'm going to show you the other cards that I made using the Cottage Rose stamp set. Here is one of them. Card base is Highland Heather, and then I just stamped the image and cut it out with the dies that come with the set. This is the image that I cut out. I used Pale Papaya, Mint Macaron, and Highland Heather, and then a little bit of twine there underneath this flower. The greeting is also from the stamp set. Feel Better Soon is right there. And on the background, this Highland Heather, I just stamped using Highland Heather ink, so it's tone on tone. You can see right there, I stamped the little flower. And then I did this one as well. Same idea, I used the stamps from the stamp set and I cut them out with the dies. And this pattern paper here is actually from the Happy Forest Friends Designer Series paper, which is this. You can see it, it's this one here. So I used it to make this card. I used Blushing Bride as my card base, and then Smoky Slate and Black for the border, and then the same gingham ribbon. This, of course, was the card that we just did, but following the same idea as this, using the pattern paper again, I did this. This is also part of the Abigail Rose Designer Series paper. And then I colored in some of the flowers, and then I just popped them up on the card. And then the Best Wishes, again, is from the stamp set. And final element are just some basic gems, basic rhinestones. So you can see how the pattern paper makes really stunning cards with very little stamping, because all you're doing is coloring in the images. So here are all 4 cards again. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm going to raise this a little bit so you can see all the cards. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't yet subscribed to my YouTube channel, I'd love it if you did. The subscribe button is in the bottom right hand side. And if you don't yet have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Canada, I'd love to help you with your stamping needs. The link to my online store and my blog is in the description. I hope you enjoyed this and learned something today. Happy stamping, everyone.